Julianna Margulies stars in one of the most acclaimed series on TV's primetime schedule. What's the good wife like in real life? Jane Pauley has our Sunday profile, after which we'll hear more new season TV highlights from contributor Jamie Wax.
Alicia Florrick's office. Alicia Florrick. Hello, this is Alicia Florrick.
Television audiences know Julianna Margulies as Alicia Florrick, the good wife of a disgraced, philandering politician.
I'm innocent of the abuse of office charges.
You think I give a damn about that, Peter? They're playing a tape in Grace's computer lab of you sucking the toes of a hooker.
A stay-at-home mom who goes back to work as a lawyer when her husband goes to prison.
I'm asking a simple question.
You are not, sir.
Mrs. Florrick.
You are piercing the Fifth Amendment right.
Mrs. Florrick, shut up.
No, sir.
44 Brooklyn, take 2, Apple Mark. Baby.
As Margulies launches a 7th season, Alicia has changed. And maybe Julianna Margulies has too.
I admire the way she is silent more than she speaks. And I realize it's so much more powerful to actually think before you speak than to just go off the top of your head, which was so the way I used to react. I hold my emotions on my sleeve, and she holds them so deep down.
It had been her idea to meet at the Booth Theater on Broadway, but she was uncharacteristically late.
I was late. I'm sorry, I'm never late.
Punctuality is big with you.
Huge.
Seriously.
Yes, I'm a punctual girl.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with growing up when I was young and I was always late for school. And I hated it. And by the time I was in high school, I lived 8 miles from the school. I got up at 5 and I walked. I walked to school every day in high school because I could not bear to be late.
Her mother was a former ballerina. Punctuality was not her thing.
My mom was sort of a soul-searching, trying to find herself.
And her father,
he wrote Plop, Flop, Fizz, Fizz. Oh, what a relief it is.
Plop, flop, fizz, fizz.
one of advertising's most memorable lines. How did you become who you are?
Oh, that's interesting. I think it's a confluence of many different things. I was lucky to have 2 incredibly loving parents, but I was also the product of a divorce and of an instability in my life with where we were going to live and what country we were going to live in.
What country we were going to live in?
Yeah, I was born here in New York, and then we moved to France when I was very young, too. And then we moved to England. And then we came back to the States when I was 6.
And then back to England again. Can you switch on and off your accents?
I can.
I want to hear. Is this an actress going to be talking to me?
No.
Okay.
It would just be me, you know, sort of. Well, I grew up in Sussex, so it's a bit of a different accent. It's not quite London. It's a bit more country, in a way. But, you know, the difference between English and American is in England you say, are you going up the stairs? And in American we say, are you going up the stairs?
With all the moving around, Margulies often felt like a fish out of water.
I was the American girl in England. When I came to America, I was the English girl in America. And I went back to England. Like, I never quite fit in my shoes until I got to college. And when I went to Sarah Lawrence College and got up on that stage, the first play I was cast in, I felt like I was home.
An actress was born. And in 1994, at age 28, she became a star. In the role of Nurse Carol Hathaway on ER, opposite George Clooney, she earned her first Emmy.
Carol, please.
But after 6 years, Margulies decided to leave the show, reportedly turning down a $27 million contract to return to the city she considers home, New York.
She's coming this way.
She had a recurring role on The Sopranos.
In the trade, this is called the Ben Franklin close. Placing the pen on the line you want someone to sign. Theoretically, it makes it harder for them to have second thoughts.
And made some movies, including Snakes on a Plane. And was happily, determinedly single.
And it's so funny, my mom, when I was about 35, I said to her, you know what? I never want to have kids, and I never want to be married. I love my freedom. And she said, oh, darling, don't say that. Every woman should get married at least once in their life. Which can kind of give you an idea of my colorful mother. And she said, it's important. I hope you experience it at least once. And I rolled my eyes.
But then,
I met Keith when I was 39.
Keith Lieberthal had never even heard of Nurse Hathaway, or Julianna Margulies for that matter.
I'd only ever dated actors, and I just felt like I needed to work with them only.
But he was interested.
Well, he was sort of hitting on me in a way, and I was charmed, but I just assumed he was an actor. Also, we met through a mutual friend who was an agent. So, you know, and it was a whole bunch of actors, theater actors at this dinner.
Been there, done that. She wasn't interested.
Okay, so he says, he said, no, I'm actually a lawyer. I was so stunned. And then I thought, well, what kind of law do you do? And he said, well, I was a Wall Street litigator for 6 years, but I've just recently quit. I didn't like who I was becoming. And I thought, oh, my God.
I like where this is going.
I like this man. He's a thinking, feeling, smart human being.
He proposed in Paris, and she said yes.
We came home, and 6 days later, I found out I was pregnant. And, which, you know, at 40 was not just shocking, but
Miraculous.
miraculous. So I said, well, we'll wait until the baby's born, and then we'll get married. And Keith just said, no, I want to get married with you pregnant. And I said, great. So I waddled down the aisle at 7 months pregnant.
A year after the birth of their son, Kieran, CBS offered her a starring role in The Good Wife.
Look how pretty it
Bond
is.
Court.
It's very pretty in Bond Court. Don't get jealous of where I spend my days.
44 Chicago, take one, Apple Mark.
Season 7 finds Alicia Florek restarting her legal career. You're shooting the 13 pages of script today.
Today's 13 pages.
You're in every scene.
Right.
And when the crew breaks for lunch, she'll get the next day's script.
My routine is I go into my dressing room and I shut the door and I put a do not disturb sign on the door and I lie down on my couch and I study all my lines for tomorrow. So at least it's in there. But it's not in there too much that I'll forget the lines I need for today. But that's all I do.
What's your IQ?
I don't know.
I think it's high.
The enrollment agreement.
Shot on a Brooklyn soundstage, the show's proximity to Broadway has attracted theater veterans like Christine Baranski.
My dad was a sloppy drunk. I said I'd never be like him. You're not sloppy.
Would you want to run for state's attorney?
What?
And Alan Cumming, who plays political operative Eli Gold. Did Julianna Margulies have anything to do with your...
Oh yes, absolutely, because you know I came into it about 2/3 of the way through the first season, so all I knew about it was that it was about Jules, and I knew it would be, you know, she's got sort of quality in her veins.
Julianna Margulies for The Good Wife.
Quality that's been recognized with 2 Emmys for Best Actress last year
and the Emmy goes
and in
to
2011.
Julianna Margulies, The Good Wife.
And to my spectacular husband, I love being your good wife.
Julianna Margulies, at age 49, says she has much to be grateful for.
There's a different appreciation you get for things when you're at a different time in your life. And I obviously waited for the right time, and I got lucky. I pretty much say it every night when I go to bed, how lucky I am. And with everything, I love my job. I love it.
Downton Abbey?
Girls? The American.